Hi there, readers. For a number of reasons, you may be wondering how long is it going to take me to read a particular book? Now, I'm not going to assume that maybe you had a deadline and you're trying to read 3 books in, say, 3 weeks. That might be true for you, but you might just be curious. Okay. So, this is an exercise that you can do for any book. Because the answer is how long it's going to take you to read this book is not the same as how long it's going to take you to read a different book with the same number of pages. And the reason for that is that there are lots of things that affect our reading rate. And one of the biggest thing that affects how fast or how slowly we read is our purpose for reading. So if I'm skimming, right, I don't really want to retain it. It's just an overview and I'm not going to have to do anything with it. I'm not going to have to answer any questions or say, write a paper. Then my reading rate is much faster. Okay. But if I am reading, because I'm going to be writing a paper or because I'm entering a discussion or because I'm going to have to do something with the information, it's going to be slower. The complexity of the text is also something that is going to impact how fast you read. And the complexity of the text is a couple of things. It could be there are really long sentences, or it could be that it is a subject that you're unfamiliar with. The things that we are familiar with, we tend to read a little bit faster. It could be the vocabulary. All right. And another factor is how comfortable you are with the type of text. Okay. So for me, for fiction, I can read fiction very quickly. Um, but particularly historical fiction, I'm reading My Dear Hamilton right now, about Eliza Schuyler Hamilton. But it's fiction and it's a narrative. If I were to read a biography, which is nonfiction, even though it's the same topic, I'm not as comfortable with biographies or textbooks. They're presented differently. And so that is going to slow my reading rate down. And our individual reading stamina, okay, that goes along with interruptions. My individual reading stamina is I might not be able to read for 4.5 hours in one sitting, okay, because maybe my mind wanders and it's going to come back. My mind wanders more with nonfiction than it does with fiction. Okay. And, those interruptions, how often are we going to be interrupted? So it is an answer, it's an approximation. We can find that out, and we're going to look at how to do that. But just remember that reading rate is flexible. It's an approximation. It's not going to be static for every book. Okay, so to find out approximately how long it would take you to read a book, you set a timer and you read that book for 10 minutes at a comfortable pace. And that means not too fast, not too slow. Okay, so 10 uninterrupted minutes at a comfortable pace. And when the timer goes off, you count the number of pages that you have completed. Okay, if you are on a page and you are not halfway through the page, then don't count that page. If you are halfway through the page, then count that page. So it's in whole numbers. Okay. And then you're going to multiply that number by 6. Why 6? Because there are 60 minutes in an hour. That is the number of the approximate number of pages that you can read in an hour. And remember, it's an approximation. You might not read for an hour without being interrupted, okay, or your mind wandering. All right. So, just for the sake of quick math, let's say that I was able to read 10 pages in 10 minutes. that means that in 1 hour, I am reading 60 pages. This book is 270 pages. So, approximately how long will it take me to read this book? Well, it's just a word problem. I haven't started it, right? So, but if you've already started the book and you're trying to figure out how many more hours, how many pages are left, and then divide by your hourly rate. So, if I plug into my calculator 270 divided by 60, then it will take me approximately 4.5 hours to read, to finish this book. Now, but remember, the longer you read, the more your fatigue, your average reading rate is going to slow down. Your surroundings are going to fluctuate a little bit. How busy is it? How is the lighting? Are you distracted by noise or a snoring dog or little brothers and sisters? And how many interruptions are you going to have? Interruptions from alerts on your phone. How many times is somebody going to walk into your room or walk by you if you're reading in a park or on a beach? You know, some people can see that you're reading, but they take that for an opportunity to go, hey, this person who is reading this book is not involved in any conversation. Let me ask that person, hey, what are you reading? Do you like it? Okay, that's an interruption. Mom, dad, boyfriend or girlfriend might know that you're trying to finish a book and try to offer encouragement, but that's an interruption. If mom comes by and says, well, how many pages do you have left? How long have you been reading? Right? So that all affects it a little bit. So you want to know that that is not a hard number. It's a flexible number. So I might predict that even though it says 4.5 hours, I might guesstimate 5.5 hours, right? And if I finish sooner than I expected, that's okay. Later than expected is not great. Because I know that some of you are like, well, I've got 3 weeks and I need to read 3 books. Um, so remember that you don't want to be further behind. If you've got questions, just send me an email and let me know. I will be happy to answer them. Don't forget that if you are looking for your next book and you're not sure what it is that you want to read, right here on this YouTube channel, if you go to the playlist titled Book Talks, I've posted 47 or 48 thoughts on different titles. There are different videos there. That might be a good place for you to start. You can also check the School Wires page for the resources on Destiny and the assistance that our media specialist has provided there for you. A local librarian is also a good resource to help you find your next read. Thanks.